The biggest problem I see in the low handicap golfer is a misunderstanding of what over the top is.
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother, I have to tell you about my brother. He's a 4 handicap. He's been golfing for a long time. He says this. He says, I hate all golf teachers because they don't help me.
Right.
And he is very over the top.
I would almost bet, as a good golfer, I'd say way over 75%, probably closer to 90% of low handicap golfers don't have an understanding of what I'm about to describe.
Okay.
All right. So, I don't think anybody's going to disagree that if I'm standing up straight, the easiest way, most efficient way to rotate would be my shoulders moving at a 90-degree angle to my spine. Agreed?
Yes.
That's going to be the most efficient. Okay? But when you tell a golfer to go like this, they're like, oh, Monty, that's over the top.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't disagree.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
okay? Yeah. Huge. This is why I don't like that covering the ball move. Because when you get the spine forward, your right shoulder has to drop to not come over the top. I'm a big proponent of secondary axis tilt, which is tilt of the spine away from the target.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're at address. Now you're tilted. You're here.
Correct.
You make now you're saying more.
Well, no. I mean, I don't want to overdo
Secondary.
it.
What's
Okay.
secondary?
Okay. This is primary tilt.
Yeah.
This is secondary tilt.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you start with a little bit at address,
Yeah.
because you see a lot of golfers, they set up, with level shoulders.
Yeah.
Terrible. All right, that's going to get you in big trouble. So, I've got a little bit of secondary tilt away from the ball. Then when I shift, if my head stays steady, I'm going to maintain it.
Yeah.
That allows your right shoulder to work around and forward. Look at
secondary is not. It's here, and it changes to something else.
No.
Secondary is tilt. Primary.
Yes.
Secondary would be secondary. Okay, gotcha.
Okay. You want some at address. You want some at the top of the swing. You want some at impact.
Because for people who are like my brother, who are obsessed with over the top and hates it, he's trying to go. He thinks the cure to over the top is being here and going.
Correct. Right.
This.
Now, do what you just did.
This is my brother Dustin when he's trying to get better.
Okay. Now, from that position, try to get shaft lean at impact. That's pretty awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now start over again. Okay. Just regular setup. Okay.
Yeah.
Take it back to the top. Now look. See? Your spine is right down your left leg, right where it should be.
Yeah.
Now very, very slowly, feel your right shoulder work around your spine, out to the ball and forward, and stop at impact. Do it slowly.
And forward.
Yeah, see? All the shaft lean you want.
Yeah.
When your right shoulder drops, that's a flip.
Because everybody would be thinking, if I'm over the top and I put my right shoulder forward.
See, you just did the important deal. You moved your head forward.
Right.
If your head moves forward,
The right shoulder's going forward.
right, then you're over the top. Okay? But if your head stays back, the right shoulder can go out and forward, and that's where you get that is the single biggest flaw among good players. They drop their right shoulder too much. That makes their hips pitch out toward the ball. All you got from here is to go like that.
So from there, it's just going to be, okay, what's going to be the spark for this person that's going to connect the dots?
It's different for a lot of them, but I say get your right shoulder forward. Well, that's over the top. No, it's not. Get your right shoulder forward.
Forward doesn't mean out. It means
No. It can mean out.
Yeah.
But you moved your head. If you get your right shoulder, because look, if I'm bent at the spine this way, okay, where is the right shoulder moving if I'm rotating around? It's moving out and forward. Is this moving 90 degrees to my spine?
No.
Not close.
That's moving 0 degrees
Okay.
to your spine, basically.
Then look what my hips do.
Yep, you're humping the calf.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whereas if my right shoulder is moving around, out, and forward, look at how much my left hip clears, and look at how forward my hands and my arms get. So that is a huge thing that most people do. There you go.
I want to feel this.
Correct. Oh, well, because you're supposed to come from the inside and swing to right field.
You do this.
Correct.
Yeah, because I'm trying to swing to first base.
That's going to be a flip and roll all day long. So getting the right shoulder forward is very, and obviously if the head goes, and if you're covering the ball, that right shoulder forward, and this was the problem that Tiger was having under Foley with that forward spine.
He was here, and I would see that in his first 2 months, 3 months with Foley. As he was trying to go.
Well, that's because that was good. That was actually a good drill, because when he was with Foley, he'd get, and you can watch videos and it's going to look exactly like what I'm showing here. He'd get forward. See, now look, I'm a little bit tilted toward the target, and then he's got to drop his right shoulder and pull his arms in to get him to go left. And that's how he hurt his back, because he's going like this all day long.
Yeah. If somebody was to say, and there's probably not an answer, but if somebody was to say, back to the first question, how can a player get better? Someone that's been playing, how can they get better?
Okay, you have to understand one thing and one thing only. It's a broad understanding. If it wasn't broad, then golf would be easy.
Right.
Your swing has to match.
Match what?
It just has to match.
Okay.
You know, you can't, perfect example of matching, okay? Dustin Johnson bows his left wrist at the top, which makes the club shut.
Yes.
Okay? From this point, he's got to get his hips 60 degrees open, or else he'd hit the ball there all day long.
Yeah.
If he flung his arms out to the right, which is what a guy like Kenny Perry did, Dustin Johnson would be a 15 handicap hitting 40-yard hooks all day long.
Yeah, he'd be some guy you'd see at your local club that's super long sometimes.
Right.
But not.
You know, you see Jim Furyk. He goes in, up, okay? His hands don't get very deep, which is back here. So the only way he can get the club back to the ball is to get his hips wide open, and then he pushes the club down the line. Those are some funky,
all different swings,
but they match. Okay, so like let's say that the average, the average thing that I see every day is I'll see a golfer who will take it too far inside, okay, and reroute out here, okay. If this guy fires his hips, it's going to be shank all day long. He has to stall his hips and throw it. If he tries to fire his hips and hold the angle, he'll quit golf.
So that's kind of like the Hank Haney thing, that the changes always have to come in twos.
Yes.
Maybe not. Yeah. There's no always. There's no definites. But
but you know, and you don't have to completely revamp your golf swing. I've seen some great scratch 1-2 handicap golfers who have that move that everyone wants to get rid of, but they throw it at just the right time. They shallow out. See, this is very steep. All right, and they throw it just the right way, and they just hit lasers down the middle of every fairway. Oh, dude, you're over the top. You stink. Oh, I just beat you by 5. Right. It's got to match. And the big thing when you're talking about your golf swing, setup, backswing, transition. That's it. If you start saying, oh, I want to get to here, or I want to get to, oh, my finish is too high. I need to go around more. Well, your finish is high because your arms are stuck, and that's the only way they can go.
It's funny you talk about not to chase the effect, but to chase the cause.
Right.
Because you say the things to concentrate are setup, transition. Setup, backswing, transition.
Right.
But the thing that only matters is impact.
Right.
So even though all you care about is impact, you gotta put that to the side. The only things that you can do as a person living in just current time is those 3.
Right. So let's
setup, backswing,
and here's a very, very simple, and let's say I got a basketball. All right, I got a basketball, and I'm going to pass it to you real fast. That was a natural reaction. That's how you hit a golf ball. Turn 90 degrees this way, okay, and close your left eye. What's going to happen if I pass you the basketball? You're going to get hit. So the first time you get hit in the head, you're like, well, I better turn this way and open my eyes. You're not thinking about, as the ball's coming to you, oh, okay, I need to open my fingers at 15 degrees, and I need to pull my arms in when the ball is 2.3 inches from my hands. That's a natural reaction. The changes that you can make is not face away from me when I'm throwing you the basketball.
Yep.
That's a very, very rudimentary and crude, description, but I wanted to go to that lengths to say that these are the changes you can make.
So golf being a game where there are long breaks between shots.
Right.
It's not basketball or even baseball where you're reacting. It almost makes it harder to learn it.
It's really hard.
Because you put that analytics in between every shot.
Right. And the evidence for what I'm saying being, the important factor, why can people make such beautiful practice swings and then they look terrible when they hit the ball? Because it's easy to manufacture perfect positions when your body's not thinking about the ball and where to hit it.
Yeah.
Everything from here to here is the subconscious reacting to the golf ball. So you can't manufacture any of it. The only thing you can manufacture is that this, and that match up and will produce the desired result.
From here to the ball happens faster than your brain can send the signals of anything that's happening.
Right,
anyway.
right.
There's no correcting.
That's why you'll see tour players every week. You'll see this at least once. You'll see a guy hit it off the planet to the right, and he's over here.
Yep.
By the time he felt that his club was open and he rotated the face, the ball's gone. The ball's gone.
I love your one video when you talk about you can't do anything from here to here anyway. I love your one video that's 90, 90, and a turn.
Right.
That's a perfect backswing.
Right.
I almost can't do that with just a normal backswing, but 90, 90, and a turn.
Right.
Thanks, Monte.
You got it.
That was great. Hey, everybody, go check out Monte on his YouTube page, which is
Hit It Long. Everything about me that you can find is at montescheinblum.com.
forums and everything else. All right, thanks a lot.
You got it.
Yeah.
Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel for more compelling golf content.